Hey, just trying to get my headphone situation worked out. That's not gonna work. Maybe it'll work. Appreciate you guys. Clippers in Sacramento taking on the Kings tonight. My old stomping grounds. Tip off is at 7. We get your pregame show, the official one, starting at 6. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Talk on the YouTube side. Just getting the link up now on Twitter. Still waiting for our producer to get here to make sure we can actually get on the air. But I'm excited about this one. Big test for the Clippers. Sacramento, top 5 offense in the league currently. 3 dozen said, "What's up, Adam? Can you hear me? Am I good? Am I coming through clearly?" Punk's gone wrong said, "What's up, y'all?" 3 dozen was first. He has been first. I don't know how he's so quick with it. 3 dozen. Man, doing some work. Boykins 44, what's up? I don't know. I don't know if that's wise of you. Don't put too much trust in me. I'm doing the best I can. I'll say that much. As are the Clippers. Getting through right now. I went on AM 570 LA Sports earlier today with Rogan and Rodney. Had an interesting debate if you want to check that video out later on, talking about the old school versus the new school, talking about the Clippers, the Lakers a little bit. Put that in the video section here on YouTube. Maddox Vacillos said Clips win tonight, but a close one. I'd take anything. Close, blowout win, whatever. Whatever it takes for them to get the W. 3 dozen. Yes, Sirski. Yes, Sirski. Yes, Sirski. Beryl Schwartzman, super fans of the 70s. That's what that sounds like. Chicagoan thing. Let's see. What do we got here? So, pregame show starting in 9 minutes from now. And our producer's here now. So I feel safe. Zach O'Caldy's in tonight. Kings taking on the Sacramento. Clippers taking on the Sacramento Kings in Sacktown. Eat, sleep, Clippers talk. Yes, sir, Boykins. Appreciate you. Drive by Buddy said we win him by 5. Okay. What's the final score then? Clippers just held a team under 98, but Sacramento's offense, they're doing some work early on this season. They are a problem. Defensively, they're pretty good too. 11th there. This Kings team. What's interesting is, guys, they're not hitting threes still. Going back to the preseason, it was like they had this mental block. We've had Steve Saxon here during the Dodgers run to the World Series doing pregame stuff and early morning shows with Tim Cates. He had that mental block throwing to first. It's like the Sacramento Kings have some issue knocking down threes right now, and it doesn't matter. They're still the 5th best offense because they're shooting, I think, almost 59% on twos. And that does happen when you have a mid-range master, a maestro like DeMar DeRozan. Drive by Buddy says 104-99. That will be your final. I'll take it if it means the Clippers win. That is fine by me. Let's see what else we got here. I should probably get my notes set up. So I won't be able to talk to you guys during the breaks like I normally do at Intuit Dome now. So when I'm in Intuit Dome, I can talk to you during commercials. When I'm here in Burbank, when the Clippers are on the road, I cannot. But that's okay. We make it work. I can still chat with you here. I just can't talk on the microphone, or else that would go on the air and people might get confused. I was trying to talk to Zach. He didn't realize. I turned my mic off. He's like, "Are you done?" I just go back and forth between you and the chat. What's up? TT, Go Clippers. Hi, TT. Punk's gone wrong. Said we need a viewing party at the 35er in Pasadena tonight. Some night. What up? Are you helping? 5 minutes away, guys. Before we start the pregame show, we'll have La Murray on. He'll be up at Golden One Center. Carlo Jimenez, too, of course. And we'll take your calls later tonight. Of course, no more Dodgers, so we are on AM 570 for all of our broadcasts. Got that going for us.
She was married to a guy named Terry Hart.
They are 2-0 on the road. Three minutes, guys. Yeah, this would be a big victory if they could get it. My prediction was they would split the next two, but I say get greedy. Win the next two, get to 6-4 in the first 10 games. That'd be nice. I do want to go to the 35er at some point. I agree. Pump. All right, guys, starting up in a second. Welcome into Clippers Countdown as your 4-4 LA Clippers head up north to face a pack div rival in the 5-3 Sacramento Kings, who are trying to give the Clippers a capital L in the state capital, as the Beam team has been lighting up defenses so far with the top 5 offense, thanks to De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and their big offseason acquisition in the SoCal native, of course, with DeMar DeRozan. But the Clippers have a couple of SoCal guys themselves in James Harden and Norman Powell, who is on a mission right now to make everyone realize that Paul George leaving was just addition by subtraction.
A three is up for Norm and through. Oh my goodness. Over to Norman Powell, a straightaway three. Bullseye. Norman Powell up to 10. Norman Powell hands it to Norm's right-handed corner. Trickles through. 15 for Norman Powell. Norman Powell skipping into the front corner. Three is up and through. Norman Powell rips the cords right in front of Paul George. Over left to right. Norm steps into a right wing three and connects. Norman Powell with 21. Left corner, Norman pump fake. Sidestep, three ball. Bottoms. Norman Powell stares to the bench of Philadelphia.
Norman Powell had a game-high 26 points and outplayed Paul George in his return to Los Angeles, now wearing a Sixers uniform, as the Clippers defense held him under 20 and Philly under 100 with a 110-98 victory that I know was extra satisfying for Clipper Nation, you could say. Here was Norman Powell post-game on the shared mindset so far with the squad.
We got a lot of fight. The same thing I said at the beginning of media day. We got underdogs, guys that want it, guys that have the will to win and compete. And it's a learning experience. Guys are in different roles, different rotations. But what's being asked every single night, we got the guys that are willing to do that, which is compete, play hard, be tough to play against defensively, and share the love offensively. I think we're doing that every single night. See somebody has it going and they're getting love offensively and it's translating. Everybody's happy, everybody's standing up and cheering. And when you have that more often than not, the basketball gods and just basketball in general is going to go your way. You're going to give yourself a chance, and that's what we're doing every single night. Obviously, we can clean up some things from those close losses. We want to turn those into wins, but I think these last two games just showed the will, the competitive fire, throughout the whole team.
Then he started using the microphone. Clippers tonight up north taking on the Sacramento Kings, looking to show that competitive fire and try to make it 3 straight wins. Tip time from Golden One Center is just about 58 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. Coming up, Coach Lou will be here, plus La Murray of The Athletic. But up next, it's your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers up north, taking on the Sacramento Kings from Golden One Center. Welcome back in. This is the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. I'm Adam Osland, and this is Clippers Countdown. Still to come, you're going to hear from the head coach in Tyronn Lue, but first, joining the show would be Carlo Jimenez. Wish you could join on video, too. Okay, we got him here on the link for those watching
Adam,
on the YouTube side.
My camera is not working, so I'm going to have to restart the iPad, unfortunately. But,
that's all right. I can look at the black screen for now. At least we can hear
I'm
you.
there, right? It's radio.
Yeah,
so
I'm imagining
There
you
we
there
go.
at an arena I've never even been to, even though I'm from Sacramento. But the Kings are taking on your Los Angeles Clippers tonight. Before we get to that, I do want to talk about what happened just the other night. Clippers winning 110-98 over the Philadelphia 76ers. The game at times felt like the background or the backstory to what was going on with Paul George's return, but turns out this Clippers team still very talented, able to overcome the odds, I guess, for some, the ones who set them coming into this season, and really put away the Philadelphia 76ers with ease in that fourth quarter.
They did. The most comfortable win of the season, without a doubt, Adam. I thought the Clippers were excellent in that third quarter. They held the Philadelphia 76ers to just 17 points in quarter number 3 and dominated that entire frame that was able to propel them to the victory. They forced a lot of turnovers. They got a lot of points off those turnovers, 27 points off turnovers for the Clippers in that win over Philadelphia. They were great in that second half. In second halves, Adam, let's be honest, as this team has continued this season, this early parts of the year, they struggled to be excellent in second halves. Looked like at times they were tired, like they ran out of gas, but that was not the issue against Philadelphia. The Clippers had all the energy they needed to come away with their second straight win.
And they had all the Powell they needed. Norman Powell, he had in his 35 minutes, 26 points. It was a game high. He did it on just 10 shots. The efficiency is off the charts. And he's backing up what he said at Media Day. He thought it was addition by subtraction. With Paul George moving on to Philadelphia, it opened up an opportunity. He has walked through that door. He's kicked open that door right now.
Yeah, he is taking full advantage of this opportunity. And everybody in the coaching staff said Norm is getting what he wants. And, well, he's taking advantage of what he wants, playing his best basketball. I thought it was interesting, Adam, post-game, somebody asked Norman Powell, how do you evaluate your play? And he's like, I'm not happy with it. He said, I think I can do more. I can provide more for this team. The want to continue to add to what already has been a fantastic start of the season. To just put it into some perspective, Adam, there's 2 players in the NBA averaging 25 points, shooting 65% true shooting. That's your field goals plus your three-pointers plus your free throws. It's him and Kevin Durant. I mean, Norman Powell's scoring right now is otherworldly, and his efficiency is even better. And he says he wants to play even better. You can't help but root for this guy, be so happy for him, and be excited that he's taking advantage of this opportunity.
Well, and they've needed it. As James Harden, the efficiency is down, the impact is still up, and I would say the stretch he had near the end of the third quarter for the Clippers against Philadelphia as important as any for this team.
Yeah, it really was. His ability to score a couple of points down the stretch, be aggressive, get downhill. It was fun to see him be able to take the load off the team when they were struggling a little bit on the offensive end. So for this Clipper team, you need James Harden in moments where the offense looks a little lost. They got him in when they looked a little lost. Still top 3 in the NBA in assists per game, Adam, getting everybody organized and taking advantage on the offensive end when he needs to.
This Clippers team is 27 assists on 41 made shots. They were moving the ball beautifully. I know they still had some turnovers out there, but they are more consistently over the last couple of games finding the open man whenever that double comes, and consequently, they're shooting it much better from 3.
Yeah, Tomer Azarli pointed this out earlier today, but the Clippers have averaged about 50 more passes this season than they did last season, and they're top 10 in the NBA in assists per game, so clearly moving the ball a lot more. Last year, of course, a different team. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, James Harden. You had excellent isolation scores. Ty Lue is going to play at his strengths with his teams. Isolation basketball was the strength of that team. Now, this year for this Clippers group, it has been fun to see them pass the ball, move the rock, get everybody involved. As you've talked about, as Ty Lue's talked about, it can be anybody's night when you're playing good basketball, and that's what we've seen, especially from the bench unit, and it shows in the assist numbers.
Clippers thriving right now. They've won 2 in a row. They're trying to get back above 500. They're 4-4, taking on a 5-3 Sacramento Kings team up at Golden One Center. Carlo Jimenez is on the call, and up next, he's got his one-on-one conversation with the head coach in Tyronn Lue, right here on Clippers Countdown on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. From Sacktown, it's your Clippers taking on the Kings up in Northern California. Welcome back in. This is Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland. Tip-off is just about 48 minutes away here. Still to come, we'll go back in time in Clippers Rewind. But first, we head back over to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. Carlo Jimenez there with Coach Lou pregame. Clippers taking on the Sacramento Kings up at Golden One Center. Tip-off just 45 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. And up next, we will go back in time and Clippers Rewind right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Sacramento Kings from the state capital in Sacramento up in NorCal. Tip-off just 42 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Still to come here. We'll get your player to watch, but first we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. Here's a throwback to January 31st of 1992, over 32 years, almost 33 years ago, when the thriller, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle with Rebecca De Mornay, was out in theaters, and Color Me Bad's All for Love was on the radio, and your Los Angeles Clippers were taking on the Kings in Sacramento at their old Arco Arena. Oh, Mitch Richmond with the game winner, the Rock for the Sacramento Kings. That game winner, yeah, that would take down your Los Angeles Clippers. That was way back in 1992, but talk about some of the guys playing for the Clippers back then. Of course, Doc Rivers, Ron Harper, Danny Manning. Doc Rivers, yes, was a player with the Clippers for one season. That was a throwback over almost 33 years ago. And I have some fond memories, of course, of Arco Arena, being from Sacramento myself. Tonight it's at Golden One Center. Clippers taking on the Sacramento Kings. Tip-off just about 40 minutes away. Up next, your player to watch here on Clippers Countdown on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Sacramento Kings up at Golden One Center. Tip off 38 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. Still to come here in the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. We will get to your player to watch, and Law Murray of The Athletic will be here. I should say we'll get to your injury report. Your player to watch coming now. You know what? In this one, I am going with. This is tough. I could go with Norman Powell. That's too easy. I could go with James Harden. I'm going to go with James Harden. He's been struggling with his shot. Still impactful, but his shooting splits on the season after going 5 of 15 against Philadelphia, not what we're used to seeing. He's at 38% from the floor through 8 games. He's at just 28% from 3. Still getting 21 points, 9 assists, but at what cost? 5 turnovers per game so far. I think it's just a little bit taxing. He's 35 and has to do so much for this team, but he's due for a hot shooting game. I could see it happening against an offensive team like the Sacramento Kings, where the Clippers, as good as they are defensively, they're going to have to put them up as well, especially from beyond the arc. Let's see if James Harden can knock down, 3+ three-pointers in this ball game. That would be good to see. Clippers taking on the Kings. Tip-off just about 35 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. And up next, we'll get to your injury report right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Very special. You're going to want to check this out.
Clippers and Sacramento Kings tipping off just about 33 minutes from now. Welcome back in. This is Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland. Still to come, we got Law Murray of The Athletic. But first, let's get to your injury report, brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code KLAC to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Sacramento Kings healthy and ready to go. As for the Clippers, still no Kawhi Leonard, still no Mo Bamba. Clippers, Kings, tipping off just about a half hour from now. Up next from Golden One Center, we will be joined by Law Murray of The Athletic right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Kings from Golden One Center. Tip-off 31 minutes away, right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. I'm Adam Osland. Still to come, we'll get to your NBA look around the league, but joining the show right now is La Murray. At La Murray, the NU, from The Athletic, Clippers beat writer up in NorCal. La, what's good, my friend?
I'm totally muted right now.
We good now?
Yeah. It's good to be in Sacramento. And I'm looking forward to seeing both of these teams play tonight.
Would you say it was a muted performance by Paul George the other night, or because of the booze, you can't call it a muted performance?
No, that's funny, man. It was the kind of game where, I think Paul probably would have wished he shot more. Like I knew he was feeling it before the game started. Like his pregame was really good. He hit his half court shot. It only took him 2 tries. But the Clippers played him. They played him tough, and I knew that the Sixers were going to have some trouble because that minute restriction, which any Clipper person who's observed or followed or covered this team over the last several years, they know how tough a minute restriction is, or a guy coming back from injury is. It's almost as difficult as not having the guy at all. So Paul turned the ball over on his first play. He was tentative on his drives. He was tentative on his passes, and that told a lot of how that game went. The story of how that game went.
Post game, you were there in the locker room. We talked about the booze. Said it's stupid. I was a free agent. It's not like I asked to be traded or something like that. How do you see that situation now? Because to me, I think he's missing the point. They're not booing him because they miss him. They're booing him because he called them the B team.
Yeah, I feel like there are things that Paul says sometimes where I don't think he immediately understands the impact of what he's saying or who it affects. And I don't think that's Paul's problem anymore. I don't think that was Paul's problems before. So I can tell Paul was annoyed, but at the same time, that's kind of what you kind of get with Paul. I think that's what Clipper fans in the arena wanted to make sure Paul understood. They were annoyed as well. They were annoyed with how things went, disappointed with how things went. They share that disappointment, Paul and the Clipper fan base. But again, things that Paul thinks is kind of a throwaway thing or a flippant comment, I think that sticks a little bit more with the Clipper fan base. And I'm in the middle because I'm like, I'm going to see Paul around, and at the same time, I can understand how everybody's feeling if they are aggrieved. So, again, I always say this about Kawhi. He never says anything that he doesn't understand the impact of what he says. And people criticize Kawhi for that. People criticize Kawhi for not saying stuff. But the flip side is you're going to criticize Paul for what he says.
Your colleague at The Athletic, Sam Amick, wrote an article talking about the future of the Clippers and why moving on from Paul George has a lot of different benefits. I think it's stuff we've talked about in the past, but coming off that game, a lot of Clipper Nation is going, all right, well, Norman Powell's getting 25 a game right now, and he only makes $20 million per year over the next couple of seasons. And they're starting to see the plan, I guess, crystallize a little bit more from how this Clippers front office is looking at the situation of losing Paul George. Are they in a better place, you would say, than most people realize?
I hope people realize it over the summer, first week of July. Like, I hate. I'm only saying it like this because I've written it. Nothing surprised me from Wednesday night. You know what I mean? Like, especially considering how poorly the Sixers are playing. The Sixers are the new Clippers, man. They got a guy who, is off the floor right now, dealing with an injury. The organization's getting fined. In the Sixers case, $100,000, but 5 years ago, that was the Clippers getting fined $50,000 for inconsistent statements about a player's health. And then trying to fit a guy in like Tyrese Maxey's overwhelmed, and they broke him. He's down with a hamstring for a couple of weeks. And so, like, what I wrote over the summer, what I wrote the first week of July, not even a week after Paul left, and you saw the Clippers, they were prepared. They pivoted immediately before that Sunday night where they released a statement. That was free agency night. Derrick Jones Jr. was on the team. Nico Batum, I thought that was the biggest eye-opener. The dude that left, the dude who was very upset about leaving, he the Clippers traded him to get James. Like, Nico was not happy to find out that he got traded. He agreed to come back on a multi-year deal. Those are the guys that Paul wanted to play with Paul wish he probably played with now. Like Nico told me at shoot around Wednesday morning. Yeah, Paul wanted me on the Sixers. I know Joel wanted Nico back on the Sixers. So, that's the ironic thing. Like the Clippers built their team as if to say we're used to not having one of these guys. So what would it be like if we use that salary spot? If we use what we're trying to do and build a team that kind of fit that identity, and so maybe you needed to see it play out against the guy that left to believe it more or to understand it more. That was the most complete game the Clippers have played all season long, Adam. It was the only game that they had a double-digit lead and didn't completely blow it and didn't take them being down 26 points to see it. So
yeah.
Here you go.
So Clippers end up winning big. They got Jordan Miller some extra run there at the end. But let's talk about the guys who are here putting in the work. I mentioned Norman Powell. He's kind of having a moment right now. I'm not that shocked by it because he is super efficient, but he's doing it against starters now more often, and he's having to play more defense. It's still impressive to me, and I actually thought that might have been his best passing game as a Clipper the other night, Law.
It absolutely was his best passing game. Like I mentioned, he's never had more assists as a Clipper before. Like 6 assists is a big deal for someone like Norm, and I feel like all but one maybe came in the second half, and it wasn't just your Tyus Jones type of assist. Here you go, create something in a straight line. Like this dude is dribbling the ball behind his back between his legs, splitting double teams and hitting Terrence Mann on the wing. He's getting downhill and finding Derrick Jones Jr. at the top floor. Like that's advanced level playmaking, and it's the thing that you got Norm also finding guys in the corner on his drives. Like he's making the kind of passes that are impact plays that get people out their seats in the home building. And if he does that stuff tonight in Sacramento, it's going to get real quiet. So it's huge. It's the thing that Paul George, it took him a long time to be a good playmaker. He wasn't in that role under Doc. He really wasn't in that role in OKC and Indiana. Tyronn Lue hired Chauncey Billups to be an assistant coach and told Paul George, you do it. You be the point guard. You be the primary playmaker. And he accepted that role, and that was the one time Paul was a All-NBA player as a Clipper. And so Norm is having a great season. It's a credit to Norman Powell first and foremost, but it's also a credit to his coaches. It's a credit to James Harden. And, you said he's having a moment. Well, he's not used to playing this well early in the season. Let's see how well he is when he's at the top of the scouting reports more consistently.
So something we talked about a lot this offseason, I think we were both on the same page, that this team just doesn't have the personnel to be a very good rebounding team. Yet so far they are. Is this sustainable, and how are they doing it right now, Law?
Man, I think it reminds me of the Orlando Magic. So I remember the Magic being a pretty damn good rebounding team last season. But when you look at the raw totals of the guys actually getting rebounds, nothing stood out. It wasn't all that impressive. And so what I learned was good rebounding isn't just about, hey, look at our volume. Look at how many great rebounders we have. It's basic basketball of you're not getting the rebounds. The Clippers play incredibly slow basketball. And this year, they have Jeff Van Gundy as the defensive coordinator. And the thing with Jeff defenses is they keep you out of the paint. That's a good way to keep your paint points allowed low, is to not let the dang ball get in the paint in the first place. And so it's a big credit to Vincent Zubats. Like, they're doing a great job with him rebounding. But Zub's never averaged double-digit rebounds in his career. Not only is he averaging 12.5 rebounds a game, that's 5th in the NBA. He's been an elite rebounder. James Harden has always been pretty decent at rebounds. You can't get triple-doubles without, in his case, rebounding at a high rate or turning the ball over 10 times. Well, he hasn't turned the ball over 10 times. He's averaging 8 rebounds a game. That is fantastic for any player, let alone a 35-year-old point guard. So you got that. The guys coming off the bench, they participate, and that's really what it comes down to, participation. I think somebody in my mentions mentioned gang rebounding. It's like they play slow. You don't get the shots that you want, and when they do force misses, they participate on the rebound. It's an athletic team. It's a team that's playing hard, and I think that effort is showing up on the defensive glass.
You mentioned James Harden there, cleaning the glass. This is somebody that I got as my player to watch tonight just because he still hasn't had that breakout, super efficient shooting game, or at least a couple of them. Do you believe, and he has said this already, his season legs just need to kick in, or is this just a guy who's overly taxed at the age of 35?
It's a little both, man. Like, there's not a lot of. I don't want to say it like this, but like, you know, when you look at these teams, you know, I'm talking Clipper teams, previous Clipper teams, and the Clipper team that you're seeing right now. Like, what are you going to do against the Clippers? You're going to really focus on making James work hard. 25-year-old James Harden was going to have a messy kind of season with this year's team. It's a team that doesn't have great shooting. It's a team that doesn't have a whole lot of guys who are great from a decision-making, passing standpoint. There are a lot of turnovers. There are guys who are learning how to be playmakers and having elevated level of touches for the first time. The offense is still a mess. I think a lot of teams' offenses around the NBA, their defenses are ahead of their offenses because it's just easier to play hard than it is to play smart sometimes. You got new coaches, you got new personnel, you're mixing everything in. That's a ton of factors. And that's before you get to how old James is and whatever. I think James is in pretty damn good shape for a guy in his 16th NBA season with the workload that he's been on. And so I think the encouraging trend over the last week is that his touches are down. There's been more guys getting more opportunities. I think Terrence has been a little bit better this week than he was, say, a week ago, or that first weekend when they were in Denver and Golden State. I think those are the things that need to happen. The bench is very new. Chris Dunn is new. Kevin Porter Jr. is new and didn't play basketball last year in the NBA. Like, guys are getting used to each other, and I would expect that things will be better, maybe not significantly better, but things will be a little bit better as this month goes along. I think that James understands that if he takes care of the basketball, this team gets great shots. The shot quality for this team is pretty damn good. Guys aren't working too hard to get good looks, and I think that is more important right now. If they can take care of the basketball, they're going to be better than the teams that they play more often than not.
Lastly, and I know that could dovetail right into this, maybe it's just about taking care of the basketball against the Sacramento Kings, but what do you see as something critical to this ball game and that the Clippers need to be attentive to?
They better blow the Kings out early, man. You do not want to play this team in a close game in the fourth quarter, especially considering that the Clippers have to get on a flight to go home tonight, and they have to play a Raptors team that got to practice in LA. They got to chill. They had 2 days off. The Raptors actually played in this building and played a pretty good close game against Sacramento. The Raptors' record isn't very good. Their personnel is raggedy right now, but that team plays hard. So you want to reserve some energy for tomorrow night's game. We've seen the Clippers play a 2-night disadvantage rest game against the Suns just last week. You saw how that went. They blew a 21-point third-quarter lead. And so the Kings, they're not a great shooting team right now, but they got guys who can make shots. They got Fox. They got DeMar, who's fit in very well, averaging 25 a game in year 16. They got Domas, who he just had 13 assists without a single turnover or a missed shot the other night. You ain't never seen that before in NBA history. So as far as the triple-double aspect of it. So the Clippers played this Kings team last month in the preseason. They know exactly what they need to do. They need to play well early. If this game is like a clutch time game, I don't feel great about where the Clippers are at, even if they win it. This is a tough back-to-back, and you play 4 games in 4 cities. Handle your work early. That's what I would say.
He is La Murray, as Joe Rosenfeld says. La is the best NBA reporter here in the chat. Best of the best. La Murray of The Athletic. La, thanks for joining me here as we get ready for Clippers and Kings.
All right, thank you, and enjoy the games.
Coming up next, we'll get you an NBA out-of-town scoreboard right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Sacramento Kings from Golden One Center. Tip-off just 14 minutes away. This is Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Oslin. Still to come, we'll get back to Carlo Jimenez. But first, let's get your drive around the league. Brought to you by Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electric, and even fuel cell electric vehicles. So you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. A couple of games that have gone final. In Charlotte, the Hornets would win 103-83 over the Pacers at home. Brandon Miller, second-year player now with 29 points, 6 boards, and 6 assists in the victory. It was the Magic 115, the Pelicans 88. In Orlando, Franz Wagner had 27 and 6 assists in the win. Right now, early second quarter, Denver, after the big win over OKC, leading the Miami Heat 40-37. A rematch of the 2023 NBA Finals. Nikola Jokic with 10 points, Bam Adebayo already with 11 in Minnesota. Also with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. Timberwolves up 46-28 on the Portland Trailblazers. Julius Randle already with 13 points. And the Suns and Dallas Mavericks coming down to the final 6 minutes in Dallas. Mavericks up 97-96. Luka the Don's got 30. KD with 20. 1 point game, just under 6 minutes left in that one. Coming up next, back to Carlo Jimenez from Golden One Center. Clippers taking on the Sacramento Kings. I'm Adam Oslin, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers up north, taking on the Sacramento Kings at Golden One Center. Tip-off just 10 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. Still to come here on Clippers Countdown. We will get to your keys to victory, but first, back out to Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, interesting team in Sacramento in that they aren't taking or making many threes right now, yet they're still a top 5 offense, and they are shooting the second highest percentage from 2 at the moment. Of course, they have DeMar DeRozan. That always helps there.
Yeah, when you got the mid-range master himself and DeMar DeRozan, who's made a living literally from the mid-range, an old-school player, but the Kings have done it from the mid-range this season. Adam, you mentioned the second highest field goal percentage in the mid-range. No NBA team makes more two-point jump shots than this Sacramento Kings group. They're going to attack the Clippers a little differently, and I think that's their advantage every single night, is they're not going to come at you with a lot of screens, a lot of off-ball movement in order to get guys open outside the arc. They're good with scoring in any way they can, and that's why 53% of their offense comes from twos. They're not as reliant on threes. Mike Brown spoke pregame that this this is encouraging for them because this is often how the playoffs come about. You're not going to beat teams in the playoffs just hucking up a ton of threes. Sacramento knows that from firsthand experience. 2 years ago, they finished as a top 4 seed because they were making threes day and night. All of a sudden, they get to the playoffs. It's a lot harder, and I think they're trying to do it the opposite way now, Adam. Start in and move out, and that's been successful.
Thought there was an interesting question there you had with Coach Lou where he started to compare Tyrese Maxey and De'Aaron Fox and how to slow these two guys down. Might be an advantage for the Clippers getting them back-to-back.
Might be. It might be not often an advantage, but it might be an advantage for this Clipper team. Now, remember, De'Aaron Fox had 40 against this Clipper team, and a Clipper win earlier last year was the Clippers' first game in this building. And I thought Adam with the Clippers did a great job of what Ty Lue continues to do with every superstar in the NBA, make them one-dimensional. De'Aaron Fox might have scored 40 points. He did not have a lot of assists that night. He did not move the rock very well that night. Now, he is playing with an injured pinky. He dislocated his pinky in preseason, shooting under 30% from three-point land. We'll see if the Clippers dare him to shoot a little more. You can almost sag off more, go underneath screens, and try to avoid those quick attacks from De'Aaron Fox, who we all know might be the fastest player in the NBA.
I got James Harden, who may be matched up against him on some cross matchups, as my player to watch in this one. I'm hoping he can just get unlocked with the efficiency, maybe knock down 4 of his 8 takes from beyond the arc. Who you going with tonight for your Clippers player to watch?
It's a great pick, Adam. James Harden is first on the team in steals per game, so his defense has to show up today. Derrick Jones Jr. is another name that pops to mind. When you think about the Sacramento offense, guys like De'Aaron Fox, you bring Malik Monk off the bench, DeMar DeRozan's excellent in the mid-range. What do you want to take away? And I think Derrick Jones Jr. can take away some of that ISO basketball that the Kings like to play with. They do average about 25 assists a game, 18th in the NBA. They're not going to move it as much. So if the Clippers can shut you down one-on-one, I think that's a huge advantage for them tonight. Derrick Jones Jr. has to do what he continues to do on the defensive end, and that is make it tough. Adam, I also think Chris Dunn, I know I can't pick 2, but I'm going to throw Chris Dunn in here only because I want to get this stat out that I think is interesting. A Dunn on 2-point field goals makes opponents shoot 18% worse than they do on the season. It's the best mark in the NBA for guys who defend at more than 8 field goal attempts a game. On 2-point shots, Chris Dunn's making guys shoot less than 18% their season average. He's got to be at that percentage today, especially against this 2-point shooting team in Sacramento.
Some guys who may be going for some 2-pointers in this one, that would be Domantas Sabonis versus Big Zoo. They have matched up over the years. They have had some good battles. I am looking forward to this one tonight.
It is going to be fun. Ivica Zubac, 14 points in the paint, 4th most in the NBA. Domantas Sabonis, we know what he does. He's almost a mini Jokic on the offensive end, coming off a triple-double last game in which he didn't miss a single shot. Didn't miss a free throw, didn't miss a field goal, didn't have a turnover, didn't commit a foul. As perfect as you can play, he played for Sacramento last game. So for this Clipper team, how do you stop Sabonis? It's got to be with Ivica Zubac's defense. Adam, we talked about it multiple times. His defense often underscored. Ivica Zubac, one of the best rim protectors from about 5 to 9 feet. Also one of the best scorers from that same range. Can he make things hard on Sabonis without fouling? That's the key. Sacramento, similar to Philadelphia, they get to the line. They're shooting an NBA high 84% from the free throw line and shooting the 7th most free throws in the NBA.
Clippers went 84% from the line against Philadelphia, and this is a team that was struggling early on this season from the free throw line and from 3. They're starting to find their shooting stroke. They're creating some better looks out there, but also it just feels like the concentration level might be a little bit higher when you're talking about made free throws.
Yeah, it especially does for this Clipper team. How do you lock in? How do you focus in? And how do you get those easy ones down the stretch? It's a good free throw shooting team on the whole. Like, this isn't a group that should be shooting 74% from the line that they are right now. You think that this is going to figure itself out, and Adam, it seems like it's trending that way for the Clippers because they know that getting to the charity line is something they can thrive on. It's something they were top 5 in the NBA last year. We'll see if they can continue to get those freebies. You got to knock down free throws. Look, this is a tough Sacramento team. They're in the Clippers Emirates NBA Cup group, and the Clippers could use this win with Toronto waiting on the other side at them. You could start to build some momentum going on to Oklahoma City and then taking on Houston twice.
NBA Cup group and the Pac Div. It's a double whammy tonight. Even more meaningful for this contest. Clippers taking on the Kings. Carlo Jimenez is on the call from Golden One Center. We'll let him go for now. Tip-off just about 5 minutes away. Up next, we'll get your keys to victory right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers tipping off in Sacramento just moments from now. But first, your keys to victory. Well, as bad as the Kings have been so far shooting-wise with their efficiency from the outside, we're just at 32.5% from three. That is the fourth worst mark in the league. They got guys that can be better from there. De'Aaron Fox dealing with an injury issue. He can pick it up. Malik Monk, Kevin Huerter, all of them are well under their career averages from three. Keep them there tonight, Clippers. Don't let them start to get a little more comfortable beyond the arc. Clippers taking on the Kings, and tip-off is next with Carlo Jimenez from Golden One Center up in Sacramento. And you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.